we go.
Cool.
So, Ryan, thank you so much for coming back after our goal setting session we had the other day. Of the three topics that popped up, have you got one of them ones that you want to focus on for today?
Yeah, so I would like to focus around the internal narrative topic. I think we had, yeah, so we discussed three, right? Which was around, yeah, being perceived as a bit more managerial versus technical, the internal narrative, and then how I'm perceived. Yeah, and the internal narrative, I think, is a good one for me. I always like, yeah, starting from the inner, and then hopefully that will have repercussions outside as well. So yeah, that's the topic I'm interested in.
Fab. Okay, well, that's the one to focus on then. And just so that we're really clear, you use this language internal narrative. I think I know what you mean, but just flesh out, what's your different definition of your internal narrative or for an
That
internal?
is a good question. My internal narrative. Yeah, my internal narrative at the moment is I'm not managerial. I'm not taking control of meetings. I get I'm not sure what the narrative is exactly, but I'm getting a bit too nervous. Definitely worked on that a lot by doing public speaking outside, but a bit um, nervous, perhaps a bit negative before meetings. And there's definitely some narrative around like comparisons as well. Like if I know there's yeah someone perceived to be a bit you know more important or more experienced, then my narrative can become a bit negative. Then to surround, yeah, improving that narrative before meetings, before um, yeah, around that. That's how I perceive it at the moment.
Okay. So it's particularly the internal monologue that you have there before these events, before these meetings, before these moments that might be pressured.
Yeah, I think yeah. I guess the narrative becomes more intense and worse before the meetings. Doesn't mean to say that it's not there the whole time, but I'm not obviously not thinking about it the whole time. But yeah, they tend to all come into one before meetings.
Okay. I can imagine that little signature moment just before you're going to walk through a door or someone else is going to walk through a door and how that might feel. Um, okay, well, if that's a focus, then where would you like to be by the end of our conversation today on this topic?
I guess I would like to. I guess it's just good talking through it and understanding what are those key assets around the internal narrative that I want to improve, and then working out ways. Yeah, it can be improved, like action points and what I can do um, to improve them.
Okay. So there's two elements, the understanding of it and then the actions and the things that you could do about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. And how will we know? If we go forwards half an hour, so how will we know that you've got to those both of those places?
How will we know? I guess. I would. Yeah, I guess I would more know if the understanding of it, if I've fleshed out a few things in my mind and got to it, and yeah, the actions would just be yeah, if I've come to some yeah realization or action points, two or three which I can do um to work on. That I know these sorts of things are not. There's no instant cure for a lot of these things. It's like long term action points. But yeah, if I just have a few of those, two or three of those action points, then I think I'll know at the end of these 30 minutes that it's gone well.
Okay, cool. And if we do, if you have these ideas and these new ways of thinking, what impact do you think it might have for you outside of the session, in the weeks and the months ahead?
I think it will just, yeah, improve my confidence, improve my overall state of mind, I think as well. I think it's never good getting into some of these negative states before meetings. It can be, reducing stress as well. Will definitely reduce my overall stress levels. Um, yeah, I think it will just be a positive effect on um, yeah, how I show up to work, how I feel inside.
Okay,
That's what I'm
okay.
aiming for.
So it'll have an impact. And then what would being like that, what would that mean to you?
That would mean, what would it mean? I think it would mean a lot because it's been a long time where um yeah, I've been trying to work out a few of these things like years, I'd say. And I just see it as a bit of a achievement,
Yeah.
really, a bit of a milestone which I've managed to get over. And I think I'd be quite proud of myself if I could do it.
Okay. Okay. So you have some different ways of being, but also a different sense of self. So saying proud of yourself if you manage to achieve this.
Yeah,
Okay, fine. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. That's given us like the, if you like, the foundation to start the conversation. Should we get into some of the detail of this?
let's do it.
So what would be a really, I think, a good starting place would be what types of events? Either the types of events or the types of people who are at these types of events.
Yeah. Um, yeah, cool. So the types of events are, yeah, normally around public, yeah, sort of public speaking meetings where there's probably a bit of unknown as well in a lot of these meetings, as to what questions could arise, what topics could come up. So a bit of the unknown, um, yeah, is one of the things that makes it a bit stressful. And the types of yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I shouldn't be doing this, but yeah, I guess the type of people, if I look down the list and I see someone, oh God, they've got like 20 years of experience and super nerd stuff. And then I'm coming in and I am meant to be the technical expert, um, and then I feel I start to put unwanted pressure on myself, even though I know, you know, I do know more than them on the particular topic. It still gets me a bit stressed. Um, yeah, I think those are the main ones. There's other ones as well, but in particular around, I guess, the overall goal of trying to improve um, gravitas, or what we've been talking about. I think those are the ones where main situations which I'm trying to improve on.
Okay. And
So
any,
yeah, I'd say it's meetings. So go on.
no, I don't know what you can.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd say it's meetings where yeah, there's a bit of an unknown. There's also a bit of pressure on me to be the technical expert, and then if I perceive the level of people who are within the meeting room, I'm doing some comparisons in my head, which probably isn't a good idea.
So you've got the trio, haven't you, there of unknown, you the expert, and people who set the alarm bells off. And we could talk about all three of those in a moment. I wanted to check. Are these meetings when you are scheduled to speak, or are these meetings when you have to put your hand up to speak, or are they both?
It's probably a bit of both, yeah. There is like scheduled parts where no, the standard format is an intro from the salesperson, then the technical person will carry over, but then it moves into a discussion. Probably half of it is more improvised, and anything could come up really, any angle.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a bit of a mix.
Okay. 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 So and is one type more triggering than others, or is it just any of these types of meetings?
No, of course, the improv side is more triggering. If it's scheduled and I know what I'm meant to be talking about and I can prepare for it and I can get ready for it, then yeah, I can feel, confident in myself. But if there's the unknown, I don't know what's going to come up and be thrown my way. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'm curious that, I mean, over the years you've mentioned this quite a few times, and obviously I know this a bit with your history. So talk a bit about the efforts you've made so far to make progress with both of the elements, actually, both the elements of the feelings and the skill in your speaking.
Okay. Um, yeah, so around the feelings, so I think it's yeah, I think there's lots of different ways of doing it, right? There's some people who will just say, I hate this expression, but fake it until you make it. And then it will just be, you just keep on doing it, keep on, and then eventually at some point your mind realizes that actually you're quite good at this
Yeah.
and there's no need to be fearful of this anymore. And that, to be fair, has sort of been working around public speaking and Toastmasters. Those feelings have definitely improved
Yeah.
a lot. Um, and it is sort of, yeah, the wrong way round. But yeah, the more you do it and the more you practice, the better you get at it, then yeah, you start to realize yourself that, yeah, actually, I'm, I'm getting okay at this. My internal narrative is not as negative. So that's one way around, yeah, the feelings where, so I guess, yeah, practicing public speaking has been very, very good. Um, there's lots of stuff I do around um, just looking after my mind in general. It's probably a bit of a broader topic, but just being healthy, meditation, that's definitely helping as well. And on the skill side, yeah, so on the skill side, I mean, the difficulty here is I think I've got to a point where I think I do know all the technical stuff extremely well.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know if there's too much more I can do in that. So I mean, what I do, yeah, I'm just naturally at work every day. I'm speaking to people all across the company, reading, researching. Um, if after any meeting I don't know a question, I do always I ask anyone and try and get the answers for it. So I think my skill set is definitely there
Mm.
now. But yeah, so it feels like it's just the feelings that need to be improved on.
Okay, okay. Well, should we get into that? Should we get into a little bit about the feelings? Because and there were two elements that you seem to touch on. One is like generally your belief and your perception about yourself, and the other is what happens when the perceived more experienced, wiser people turn up in the room. So, which one should we talk about first?
We can talk about the wiser people turning up in the room.
My words, not yours, mind you. But yeah, when the people whose names you look down on the list and you think, oh, blimey, okay. So,
Yeah.
so what's going on there?
Yeah, so I was actually trying to think about this beforehand a little bit. And to be honest, I'm not sure it is just me. Like we had a big um meeting about like imposter syndrome at work, and it's a very common theme within our industry. I think I'm working with very highly skilled, highly talented people, competitive people as well. And you just sort of look around and you just sort of think, oh, you know, um, yeah, I can't do that. Or they've got this extreme knowledge here, they've got this extreme knowledge here. Um, and I think it's around comparing myself a little bit too much. I've always been amazed. Yeah, I guess this is, why I've never been in, pure sales, but people who are in sales who can just go into meetings and I know they have less knowledge than me, but they can still show presence and be confident and assured in their words, even though what's coming out can sometimes be, you know, borderline nonsense. It's they can manage to project that confidence. And yeah, but for me, I think it is mostly around that imposter syndrome. Um, and what can I do around that? Does that make sense?
So, well, you mentioned your salespeople turning up talking borderline nonsense, but with extreme confidence, right? But what are you saying? Are you saying that that's not you? That's not the road you want to go down.
Um, no, but I think I'm at a level now where my skill set is, and what I'm talking about isn't nonsense. It's 99% very true and accurate,
Yeah.
and that should be enough now to allow me to speak with confidence. But yeah, it's still not quite there.
Okay. So we now have a number on the paradox, don't we? Because you are 99% technically proficient, right, and knowledgeable, and yet right, and yet something inside is saying, hold on a minute, I might not be very good.
Yes, there is. And to be honest, it has reduced as well. Definitely has reduced. Like it's definitely changed from. So I was at been at this company for like, 4.5 years, and at the start I was completely new industry. Um, Again, I'd never worked with such high, um, quality of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where this like imposter syndrome sort of settled in. But then obviously you have to try and hide a lot of that because it isn't like a sales facing role.
Yeah.
Um, so over the 4.5 years, it's definitely reduced, and those things like Toastmasters have helped. Um, and just getting more experience has helped. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, it sounds like obviously you've done work on this, but also that even the experience and the 99% of knowledge, there still needs to be something to get you over the hump and to stop worrying. Before we lose sight of it, I just wanted to sort of bottom out a bit about these other people. What is it about these other people and their experience that sets you off?
Um, I think it's a perceive that they are, more knowledgeable. Some have been in the industry longer. Um, and I also just think like sometimes they could have a better answer.
Yeah.
So yeah, when there are those moments when it's, who's going to answer this question? I
Yeah.
guess I'm kind of going, obviously, this far better than me.
Yes.
But to be honest, it's probably not always true because, um, now I am more in the weeds focusing, they're doing other projects as you naturally progress in your career. Um, so yeah, that's a good realization actually.
Ju-
That is
ju-
probably not actually 100% true.
So just flesh it out that
Yeah.
realization. It sounded like there was a bit of internal stuff going on.
Yeah, I guess, I'm assuming too much, that there is too much knowledge there when actually, before we go into meetings, I have, I am more in the weeds and more in the technical stuff and knowing what's going on a day-to-day basis. And so I should have more confidence in myself, actually, that, some of these questions are more suitable for me. Even though, I guess, through their experience, they could be able to handle and deliver some sort of answer,
Yeah.
again, which would make sense. But yeah, I need to understand that. Yeah, I can just, through the 4.5 years experience, what I've been doing on a day-to-day basis, I do have some of those extra skills and knowledge. It is up there somewhere. I just need to vocalize it and get it out.
And like, forget if you were in an empty room or in a room with just, your biggest fans, Cammy and your mum, right? Like, how confident are you that you can share all your good stuff?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I guess, yeah, that's a very good question. Like if I completely changed the audience setting and
Yeah,
someone asked that exact question,
yeah,
the way I answered it would be very different to
yeah,
it's a very good point actually, yeah. If it, like the way I'm answering it is probably a bit cagey and a bit unsure, where if yeah, it was friends and family, it would just be, yeah, I know this stuff. This is the answer. So yeah, unfortunately there's quite a big difference there between how I would explain that answer to friends and family versus within a meeting.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is a good point.
yeah. So, I mean, you've seen enough and spoken in front of enough audiences to know that we are almost inevitably affected by who the audience is. So it's not like trying to pretend it should all be the same. But I'm really curious. I'm thinking about this moment for you, right? So there's this moment. You've done your prep, you've thought about the event, you've got your ducks lined up, you know what you're gonna say, or you're prepared or whatever, and you're all ready and you're all good, and you've got this great knowledge base. And then you look down the list, right? And then you see whoever's name is in there. So something happens to you, and you've explained some of it, but what happens to your belief about your own knowledge base? Because the knowledge base hasn't changed, right? It's just this other person being there is changing something.
Yeah, and I think it's just not looking at the list as well. It can be just as soon as I go into the meeting and
Yeah.
then, see everyone, my mind just goes, oh, um, yeah, I don't know what's happening. It's just it's basically it's a bit of a block basically, and it just like I feel um, yeah, like my opinion isn't as important as everyone else's, I
Yeah.
guess, is what ultimately comes down to.
Yes.
And then I can have, yeah, I'll still have thoughts and ideas in it, but then I'm being, yeah, very cagey inside, like double checking it, triple checking it, and then by the time I've done all that in my head, the moment's gone, and then I'm never going to get it out.
Yes.
Then everyone's moved on.
Yeah.
Um, it was interesting, yeah. Again, in Toastmasters, a lady gave a speech about how she had to improve just giving, ideas and opinions without putting too much thought to it, really. Where before she was, yeah, constantly second guessing and triple guessing, and she found impressive that some people could just, yeah, in a meeting, just here's what I'm thinking. It doesn't have to be anything too complex to it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I've made it very complex
Yeah.
in my head when I go to those meetings. I've
So, so,
definitely made it very complex.
so you want to transition somehow internally from complexity towards a bit more straightforward, right?
Yeah, just I have a thought and an idea, and that's based on my knowledge base. That's what my mind has seen as a potential question or potential doubt, and why not raise it? Even though, there's, I guess, a few chances that, maybe it's wrong, maybe it's the wrong thought, but even then, is that even that bad? Like, I feel like I built up in my head that it could be bad. I guess, yeah, there's an element of, I mean, lots of people said, isn't it, around perfectionism? Like, if you are around people you perceive, being there and done it, you don't want to come out with something which potentially makes you look a bit foolish, or like you don't know what you're talking about. So there's that fear as well.
Okay. So you've introduced a new fear. Always good.
Okay.
Into the mix of it all. And on
I
that one,
do.
I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds of you saying something, even if it's not perfect, what are the odds of you saying something that will make you look like a fool?
Probably quite low. Um, and I'd like to think, yeah, this is a new thought. Even if it was something that made me look foolish, that the people on my team and on my side would, you know, maybe if I've worded it a bit incorrectly, they might try and, spin it into a way that makes it sound positive in a way.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah, I think the odds are small, and even if they did happen, I would. Yeah, it's a good point. I'm not even sure in a meeting if it did happen, if what if there would be any sort of judgment. Don't know actually. I guess the difference between if I'm being judged by people that it is a poor question, or if they would just turn around and within the meeting, within the moment, support me and then just move on to the next question. But again, this is a very small chance anyway of it happening. So yeah, I guess if more of my thoughts came out, even if one was a bit off, the majority of them would be decent.
Yeah.
And that's better than just sitting in silence
So
and saying nothing.
so let me just repeat back what you said. The majority
Yeah,
of my thoughts that would come out would be at least decent, which is better than sitting in silence.
yeah, it's a good, it's a good, it's good, isn't it? I'll write that down.
Yeah, your words, mate.
Yeah,
So there's a lot going on, isn't there? I mean, and we've done just under half an hour, and quite a few times you said new thought, a realization, or something. So should we just try and consolidate those so that they don't
yeah.
get forgotten? So what are all the new thoughts and all the new realizations you had today?
Um, yeah, I'll try and remember. Hopefully, you can remind me as well. But yeah, definitely around. Yeah, it's the odds are low. Even if some of these thoughts do come out, that it's going to be silly. And it's better to, with my knowledge base, it's better just to get most of these out, and most of them are going to be decent, and then it's far better than just being quiet and being silent. My knowledge base is better than other people, um, even though I'm perceiving that it's not, because I am on a day-to-day basis, um, in this, like in the day-to-day stuff on a deeper level. So the knowledge base is there, and I shouldn't think otherwise. I shouldn't compare and think that it's off. Um, I guess a similar thing, but my skill set is there now. It definitely is. It is there now. I think I said 99% of what I'm saying is accurate now. So um, that's the thing. I just need to remind myself of and move away from ever thinking that um, that is not true. Yeah, I think those are the three things. There might have been others a bit earlier on, if you can remind me.
I think the only other one that you might not have mentioned is that what happens when you see this other name, what happens to your own sort of set of beliefs about yourself, and so how somehow seeing them or seeing the other person influences your belief about your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good, good realizations.
So these are the two things you wanted, right? You wanted some new learnings and some realizations, but also some tangible actions. And I suppose I'm mindful of the tangible actions can be drawn probably from what you already know about speaking and being in meetings. So name a few tangible actions, things that you're going to do to consolidate all these new thoughts.
Yeah, so I think the main action point is well, just on that fourth point you made around, I'm just going to be more mindful of not letting my mind, as soon as I go into meetings or see the invite list, start, making up these comparisons and just try and nip it in the bud right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And just, everything I've spoken about, I am more technical, I am more in the day-to-day stuff. That's an important part. I think this second action point is around, yeah, just in meetings, yeah, just getting more of my opinions and thoughts out there, and not being not being, I guess just about backing myself and knowing that I have the knowledge. Everyone in my team is on my side. Yeah, just knowing all this stuff and putting it all together, you really like the odds are low in a way, even if I do make a fool of myself. But yeah, just getting my opinions out there a lot more.
Right.
Because it would be it's needed,
Yeah.
it is needed in the meeting. That's what I'm there for.
And it's completely up to you, but do you need to have a target uh for I'm going to speak in meetings? Does it need to be give yourself a rule of thumb? I will definitely speak 3 times, or I definitely speak in every meeting, or is it more you'll review after every meeting and see did I speak enough? How do you want to manage this or evaluate this?
Yeah, I think yeah, number won't really make sense. I mean, yeah, there are some meetings where it's really not necessary sometimes for me to talk. Maybe I'm not the most experienced person, and the conversation's gone completely a different way to my skill set. But yeah, I think the majority of the other meetings, I think I can do this. It's a bit more difficult, but it is just, I guess, trying to just be, any opinions or thoughts which come up and seeing, if I'm hiding them or if I'm speaking them.
Yes.
Did that really make sense? I don't think there's really, I'm basically trying to say there's not really a number I can put on it,
Yeah.
but I think I'll know after a meeting
Yes.
whether I said what I wanted to say or not. I normally do, to be fair. I'm normally afterwards like, bugger, should have said that, should have said that. So yeah, I guess I just need to have a check-in basically after
Okay.
each meeting, just on that point. Did I get the main points I wanted to get across during that meeting?
So the measure of success is your post-meeting mini evaluation and checking out with yourself. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, listen, if we circle back to the beginning and think about where we started 35 minutes or so ago, have we got as far as you wanted to get?
Yeah, I think so. That was very, 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 very interesting. I definitely came to some, yeah, realizations,
Yes.
which is very nice, which has given me some confidence already, just coming to those realizations. I've definitely got a better understanding of where it comes from and the scenarios it comes from and how to and then on the action points, how to put into practice to overcome and improve that internal narrative. So yeah, it's been good.
Oh, I'm really pleased. And last question, I really want you to reflect a bit about yourself. If we sort of step back a little bit from the topic and ask what have you found out about yourself, or what have you learned about yourself by talking about this today?
I think I've learnt that coaching is great, actually. I'm surprised actually because I do a lot of internal reflection and meditation and all this stuff, but a lot of this stuff has actually never come up and never thought about. So um, yeah, it's. I think I've learned, yeah, just to. I guess maybe if I'd spoken about this more just to other people, that could have been useful as well. But yeah, it's been very good and interesting to talk about this out loud, my thoughts, and come to a realization of where it's coming from.
Okay. So a learning is that if you do talk it out, things can pop up for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's very true.
Fab, fab. Thank you. And how do you feel as we finish this today?
Ah, good, very good. It was, yeah, very, very useful. I'm excited to try some of this, and yeah, very, very, yeah, I'm very happy.
Good. I'm really pleased. Well, listen, thank you, Ryan. I mean, I appreciate that, these internal narratives, we can't just airbrush them away, can we? It takes work and it takes effort and work and effort, not just us talking about it, but also, going out of them and trying. And the fact that, as you said, you haven't really talked about this before. So I think sharing all of that and being a bit vulnerable, I really appreciate that. So thank you, thank you. And yeah, no, I definitely wish you good luck with it and hope it goes really well.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Okay, have a good day then. Cheers.
Cheers.